Hello everyone and welcome. This video is going to be a little bit different than any other video on my channel, mostly because I made a small error when setting up my OBS. Clicked something that I probably shouldn't have clicked and it got rid of everything in my end Twitch VOD except for my actual game audio. Moving forward, I will be streaming as well as recording locally just so that I have each piece. And basically, I decided not to record because we are in the wet at Brands with a varying level of skill within our field, just because it's kind of anyone who can race in Wednesday's split. So we are going to kind of get into the race and go through and see how everything went. I'll kind of explain what's going on, why I did certain things, because you know, the audio from my actual stream from me talking is not there. So let's get into it, and yeah, thank you guys for watching. And we are green. So here we go. We're just trying to survive this first corner. Get into kind of, oh, and someone has gone out the back, so why don't we actually go back and see what happened here. So it's Jopnik. Looks like there was a small tap, took him around. Oh, I thought oh no, this is it looks like the AM class is not going to have a fun race this race. Everyone kind of got taken out. Let's take a different view on this. So he got spun around, which created just like a pretty big, oh, look at that. I am surprised this was not a red flag race. I did not realize that this was how bad this crash was. All I saw was just Jopnik kind of do a spin behind me, but wow, that took out more than half the field. So yeah, let's get back into it. So we're kind of battling, trying to at least kind of survive this first little bit. Just kind of get going, keep our position if we can, maybe make up a position or two. So right now we're battling with Wilcock, trying to figure out a good way to get by. So here we go, we try the inside, but we just don't have enough go for it, and he's still got some speed on the outside there. Coming in here, we get a nice actual run off of this corner here, just because we come in a little bit slower and then kind of gun it. We do a little bit more of an aggressive move on him just because he was going a little bit slower, so we figured we can get by. And then at this point, we're now focused on Lund, and let's try and catch up to this Bentley. Oh, and we see someone going off there. That looks to be low. So we're just trying to, again, get a run off of here, see if we can get by him. He actually goes defensive, so we kind of slow down and we try to get him on the inside. But he's just got too good of a run off of that corner. He didn't go wide enough to lose a little bit of speed. So we're just going to kind of keep it safe now, try and plan for the next corner to get by him. Just kind of keep him close. We do have a bit of pressure from behind with Ryder. And we know that Lund is kind of holding us up because we're kind of catching up to him pretty quickly and having a hard time getting by. This is a really close battle between Lund, myself, and Ryder. Here we go again. We're going to try and get a run off, but it seems like he kind of did the same thing. Went slow in, hard out. So right now we're just trying to keep him in the stay in his toe, and hopefully we can find a time to get past. The only thing here with being stuck behind Lund is we're starting to lose the guys in front. Here we get kind of a nice run off. And then here, this was a little bit more, I wasn't expecting this. I didn't want to overdrive, but because of my mistake, I should have pushed a little bit more. We have Lund now in our inside, so we gotta basically let him go. And now we also have Flores coming in, and because me getting pushed too wide by Ryder there, Flores is able to get by us. So now we just dropped 2 positions, unfortunately. So now we're gonna have to try and get these back. So we're gonna really try and push. So here we go, we get a nice run out of here, and we make up all the time that we just lost. And now it's about trying to stay close and find a way to get by. So coming into this corner here, based on me, so I did tap him. I thought in my instance that he kind of came across, moved in the braking zone, so to me it was Flores' fault for the accident. So I thought, you know what, I'm not going to give his position back, because to me he moved in the braking zone while on the brakes into my over across into me. So I just kept going. That's again, you know, in the race it's hard to kind of tell. Things are kind of feeling like they're happening a lot quicker. After the race I went and reviewed the replay, and it is hard to say whether he moved into the braking zone or not. I did brake late. Well, I broke at my normal spot going into that corner, but with how he came into it, he had to slow down even more, and unfortunately I got a 15-second penalty for that later in the race. So we're just going to kind of use that and kind of keep pushing forward. So for next time, I know kind of maybe be a little bit more cautious. Thankfully he didn't crash out, or else I would have gotten probably DT. But luckily he held on. But like I said, kind of hard to say. It took a gamble, and unfortunately that gamble did not work out for me. So yeah, so now we got by Flores, so we're kind of tracing down Ryder and finding a way to get by him. And he currently has a DT because he was the one that turned Jopnik and created a huge crash at the start of the race. So we know Ryder is at least not the person that we're looking to try and catch. It's Lund, and hopefully we can kind of get by Ryder to be able to close that gap between Lund and then catch up to Rigaro and those in the top 3. So thankfully Ryder goes a little wide, so we're able to catch up a little bit here. And then we get a nice run off of this, so we kind of just do what he did to us, take on the inside. We keep it close enough, and then he falls in behind, so I go wide. And at that point we're past, and we're chasing Lund, and hopefully we can catch him pretty quickly. Right now Ryder's right behind us, so again we're going to come in slow, go hard off of this corner. Lund's having a little bit of issues with the Bentley in front of us. TC is not the greatest in the wet. Oh, and Ryder behind us slides a little bit, so we gain quite a bit of time on him. So no longer need to worry about Ryder getting close to us again, and now we can focus on Lund moving forward. Coming into here, it seems like we got a nice kind of run into this corner, and it's just trying to slowly reel Lund in. Here we go, we're in his draft, so hopefully we can run down this straight. He's kind of going in defensive mode. We're going to go again, slow in, get really hard on the throttle, kind of come out. And here we go, we're kind of getting a little bit closer to him, so now we got to try and figure out where we're going to pass and how we're going to get by him. Knowing that he, when I get a little too close to him on the second corner, he really gets on, he moves out of the way. I figured I'll kind of get a little bit close to him, so that's kind of what our plan is. So we just try and keep close, really try and push so we get a nice run off of the first corner here. So we're going deep, and then really get on the throttle as soon as we can, really push. And then again, we kind of go in, we get hard on the brakes. Even though if he would have stayed there, we wouldn't have hit him. We just do that, he kind of lets us by, and at that point we get on it and start to leave Lund in the dust and focus on Ruggiero next. And it looks like we're starting to catch up onto some of the back markers. So due to that probably big crash there at the start, we're going to see back markers a lot sooner, since a lot of them probably had to get fix their cars and everything. So the person in front of us did go in, they did pit, so they are kind of already basically a lap behind from that itself, not just from the driving. We're pushing really hard, trying to get up to the back markers. Oh, and thankfully Churchill gets out of our way, lets us by nice and smooth. Oh, and it looks like Caramidero kind of lost it there, so we get by him nice and easy. So we are still trying to pull in Ruggiero, but he seems to be staying at about 4.2, 4.3 seconds ahead of us. But we're just going to keep pushing, and hopefully we can get to him. So it's been several laps. We're still unable to kind of get to Ruggiero, so we're just going to we skipped ahead just because there wasn't much going on. We got by Luke there. We're coming around the corner here, and oh my gosh, there's Ruggiero. He lost it, so we're able to get by him. And now we can kind of focus on catch Durian, which is so far ahead. I don't know if we're going to be able to get there, but we're going to focus. We're going to put in some good laps, and hopefully we can kind of catch up. And with the back markers kind of taking into account, hopefully some of them will be able to hold them up a little bit so we can get some time. And we're going to skip ahead again just because there wasn't much going on. And here we got a small accident. Gil kind of came off. We're going to go and tried to go around him. He went inside then outside, so we just kind of went on inside. Just lost a few tenths, but nothing crazy. And at this point we're going to kind of keep pushing with Kachjirian only about 3 seconds ahead, so we made up quite a bit of time due to some of the back markers kind of slowing down the people in front. Really push out of this corner. He's going pretty slow, so we're going to take the inside and try and really push it deep. And we're going to now push into Doucette, and looks like he lost a little bit there, so we'll be able to make up a little bit of time here, and we should be able to get him on the next straight. So we're going to kind of aim to try and get as much speed as possible out of this corner, and there we go, and we're by Doucette. So now again we're focusing on Kachjirian, which is under 3 seconds ahead, so thankfully the back markers did slow them down so we could kind of make up some time. And it's at this time that we found out about the 15-second penalty, and I'm annoyed. Made the wrong call, more so annoyed that I made the wrong call because I did think that he moved during braking. So at this point I know I'm going to have to check the replay to see what's going on, because it might have just been, it felt like he moved very quickly. And at this point I'm also trying to figure out what am I going to do for my pit stop strategy, and when am I going to pit to make sure that I can get as much advantage as possible so that I don't lose a ton of positions. Because as we can see, Lund is in 5th, so right behind us, and only 3 seconds behind, and we just got a 15-second penalty. So what are we going to do to make sure that we can try and stay within the top 5? Trying to figure out what that plan is going to look like. At this point, there isn't many people ahead of us, not a lot of back markers in between 1st and 4th, so we're going to kind of skip ahead. And at this point we kind of see Churchill again, and this was just after we did a pit stop, so we've kind of figured we'll go in, we'll get tires and everything like that. So we're now back in 15th, but a lot of the people in front of us have not pitted yet, and oh my gosh, look at that. So someone coming out of the pits, Churchill slows down a lot, stays within my lane instead of dropping down, and we almost crash. So thankfully we were able to kind of go off into the dirt and we didn't hit the wall, come back on. Going to be losing quite a few seconds on this lap, but you know what, we're still in it, we haven't crashed yet, so let's just kind of push forward. So we're going to kind of come on the inside of Churchill here. He lets us by nice and easily, and we're going to kind of try and get as much speed out of here as possible so that we can then get to Jajay, as well as Doucette and Luke. So again, slow in, fast out. Hopefully we can make up some time here. And as we can see, we got 31 and 32, so these two could potentially be battling, so Doucette and Luke. And then Jajay is, and we see Luke going off. So at this point, we can maybe see these guys let each other by. So Doucette lets Jajay by, and we get by nice and easily, so now we're on him, and we're going to really push. We get a nice run out of here, so we're going to take the inside. It lets us by, definitely lift it a little bit, so we're going to come into deep and really push so we can get close to 10 Euro. And sorry if I'm butchering anyone's last name. I am not great at it, so please let me know in the comments if I did or not, if you did come by the video. So now we're going to kind of really push and see if we can get into that 13th position. Again, as we see, he hasn't pitted yet, so we have fresh tires. So at that point, we're going to be able to really push. And then what we can see is 12th is Flores. So the person that we accidentally crashed, he just dropped 2 positions, so us and then Wilcock behind us during that crash way back. He is 9 seconds ahead of us, so we know that that's who we're going to be chasing down for the rest of the race to hopefully, you know, put us in a good end position. So right here, we get a nice run out of here, and we're able to get by. He lets us by, which is kind of nice. That's not a corner you want to go too wide into. And doing that, he allowed us both to keep up our speed and really push forward. So at this point, we're going to kind of skip forward a little bit because, again, they're, you know, the next person, back marker, as well as the next person, are quite a few seconds ahead. So let's jump back to some more action. So at this point, we're catching up to Bull and Sika. As we can see, Riguro is actually up ahead of us as well. So again, because of the time that we lost. Oh, and there he is into the wall. Oh man, Riguro is not having a good race. But you know, that's another freebie for us, considering our 15-second penalty. But I'm sorry to see that Riguro is into the wall again. So now we're kind of moving again really close to Bull and Sika. And as we can see Tucker, Tucker went in, so Hemsworth and Thorpe, and they're both in the pits. So just like that, we're into 10th. So Tucker's up there in 9th, so that's our next goal to hit. Oh, and we have someone down. No, don't move. Oh, and he kind of just moved enough, hit us. And now we have about 4 seconds of damage, quite a bit in the front, 2 seconds with 1 second in the door. So at this point, kind of sucks, but you know what? We're going to push forward. We know that we have some damage in the front, so we're going to have to be a little bit more careful in the corners. Otherwise, we should be still good. 4 seconds is not too bad, especially since it's a rain race. If this was a dry race, then yeah, that would be pretty bad. But yeah, so in these instances, definitely use your relative, use a map if you have it up, and you know, really keep hold of your brakes and do not move as a car. As we can see, the person in front of us made it around where we went. We were on the grass and we still ended up hitting him. So unfortunately, that's what happens sometimes, but let's get back into it. So again, we're trying to really pull in Bull and Sika. Oh, and we also have Gil, so we have a 3-person battle ahead of us. So we got to be a little bit more careful in how we're going to pass. We're going to have to see how this goes because it could be an interesting race in front of us. So again, they may not be focusing on anyone around them. They're focusing on the battle ahead of them. So let's take our time, make sure that we're not going to... So here we're going to kind of go on the inside since we do have that space. He's allowing us there, so we're going to really stick to the curb in the inside so that we don't push him out. He drops in behind us, so now we're going to really push to the next, to Sika. He's right behind us, able to pull in the draft. Again, we slow in and then hard out, and with that we're able to then pull up beside Sika, who doesn't lift at all, and we're going to be able to get by. And right there, that allows Gil to also, he goes a little wide. So we're going to kind of come in here. He's going to go wide again. So we're going to keep it on the inside. And there we go. We got by those 3 that are battling it out. And it looks like Bull at some point must have lost a little bit more because he's quite a ways back. So now we see Tucker 4.3 seconds ahead. So let's kind of push and hopefully get to him. And at this point, I think we don't have any other people coming in, so we're going to jump ahead. So during that time, we had Tucker go into a pit stop. So at this point, we're in 7th, and Flores is the next one that we need to reach. He's 8 seconds ahead. Here we got Jackman, so we're just going to kind of run by him, and hopefully make up some time to catch Flores and Lund ahead of us. So here we are, we're kind of in striking range at this point. Oh, and looks like Jackman kind of let us nicely by. So now we're going to really push. Flores is 8 seconds. Oh, and looks like we have Wilcock in the pits. And so with that, now we're in 6. So we just have one more person for top 5. And they're all quite a ways ahead, so 18, 13, and 8 seconds. So let's really push and see if we can put in some really quick lap times. We just put in a 1:29.355. I believe the fastest lap so far is a 1:29.1. And again, we'll jump ahead just because there wasn't much going on. So here we go, we got some more back markers coming out. So how are we going to get by these to try and reduce as much of time as possible so that we can keep getting closer to Flores? Oh, and looks like JW lost it, so we're going to kind of come in here and push through the corner here. He got a nice run out of that, so he's quite a ways up, but he's going to really get on the brakes. But doing that, he offset his car, and as we can see behind us, he kind of went into the grass and lost a little bit more time. Honestly, he could have just kept going and then let me by on this straight. He actually had a good run out of the corner, but again, people are learning. Oh, and we got someone off there. Oh, Jopnik is off. But yeah, so again, people are learning. So, you know, if you do come by and see, you know what, I would say if it's about a 5/10 at that point, it's a good time to let by. But it's all about figuring out corners and knowing when the straights are. So we're going to try and push along this straight, and hopefully we can catch up to these 3. We know that they're not battling since it's 33, 17, and 24, so hopefully that they'll let us by. At this point, hopefully they're getting close enough to Churchill so that he'll let the 17 and 24 by, and then we're able to kind of get by with no issues. We can see that we've caught up a little bit to Flores there, so that's great news. So as we come closer, we can see that these two are still they're all 3 of them are still battling each other. So we're going to come in, we're going to try and get a nice run out of here, and they're all 3 kind of all over the place. Not really sure what to do. I can't kind of come on the inside. Not really sure. No one's really letting each other by. Looks like they're kind of battling, so I'm going to run here through the inside. Thankfully, Churchill keeps on it. He does slow down a little bit there, so then I have to jump into the inside so I don't run into the back of him. And we're going to run deep so that hopefully we can get close to Tenmura and get by him. So as we can see, we've gotten up to 6.3 seconds to Flores, so hopefully we can kind of keep this up. With 10 seconds left, we're making about a few tenths per lap. We may be able to do it, but it's hard to say. And at that point, we're going to try and pull away from these back markers from behind us, and Tenmura does kind of keep with us for a bit. So at this point, we have, you know, Flores. He's gained some time on us. He's 7 seconds ahead. Doesn't seem like there's anyone close, so we're going to jump ahead and we're going to jump into the last lap of the race. So at this point we're still in 6th. We haven't been able to make it up on Flores. We're just going to kind of do what we can. You know, Flores is still the same distance ahead. I'd have to say, with a 15-second penalty and everything, finishing in the top 10, even at top 6, is an amazing feat that I'm pretty happy about. Definitely know for next time that I need to be a little bit more cautious, even if someone does move potentially during the braking zone and we do hit and I'm okay and they go out and I'm not the leading car, the catching car, that it could be fall on me because, again, don't hit what you can see. So at least I know for next time I will slow down and let them by so that I lose less time. That one I could have, only got a 5-second penalty, and I could have been up there with Flores or with the others for sure. Because again, minus 10 seconds, that's where they are. I could have, gone in the top 5 because during there kind of crashed. So something to note for next time. Otherwise, this was an amazing race. Had a lot of fun. The back markers did amazing. Again, like I said, there was a huge skill gap. We don't have our bronze, silver, gold leagues anymore. It's basically rookies and then Tuesday and Wednesday splits. And I have to say this Wednesday split has been a pretty hard series so far. We've had 2 wet races, so starting off with Mola wet, here at brandshatch wet. We do have Zolder next. It's going to be a dry, potentially some rain race as well, so that's 3 out of 5 races. And then I know that Paul Ricard is going to be a wet race regardless. So thanks guys for stopping by. I know this video is a little bit different than what we've had before, but thank you so much. If you enjoyed the video, please hit a like. Otherwise, if you did make it this far, you know what? Let's throw a smiley face down in chat. It lets me know that you guys made it this far into the video. And thanks for everyone who did stop by the stream. Moving forward, my videos will probably go back to their old format unless I get a lot of people that really like this video and the format of it, as well as let me know in the comments that they did enjoy the video. So thanks guys for stopping by, and I'll see you guys in the next video.